Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm LBJ. You're there and I'm here. And you're listening to The Heartfelt Truth. Welcome. Let me start off by saying, as I always do, that I hope my voice finds you in good health, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Not necessarily in that order, but all equally important to help us through this thing we call life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me start off first of all by saying thank you for allowing me to come into your life for the next few minutes. I hope you find my voice somewhat inspirational, a little motivational, and just gives you another way of looking at things. And with that being said, on today's show, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to dedicate today's show to all the men and women that have served in the United States military services. That includes the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and any other entity that has contributed to the protection of this great country that we live in, and that we have been afforded the opportunities and live under a democracy that serves all. I would just like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Veterans Day to all. And that's about it. I guess I hold this a little near and dear to my heart, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't talk about it much, and in my other gig, there are a few people that know about it, and there's some that don't. But every now and then, I believe once a year, I turn around and I let people know, yes, I am a combat veteran. I served in the United States Army, and I was part of that conflict, which was about 25 or so years ago, Operation Desert Storm. Initially, if anybody who knows what they're talking about, the code name for Desert Storm was Desert Shield. And during that conflict, I spent the good part of a year in the Middle East and protecting and serving this country and some of its interests. Now, there's a lot of conflicts about that whole operation. I'm not going to go into the political ramifications. I am not going to get in here and get into a salty conversation with someone about that. Everybody has their personal views on why we were there, why we shouldn't have been there. I get it. Okay, and my hat's off to you and your conversation. I'm coming from the perspective of ladies and gentlemen, men and women who have decided to join the military services and serve their country. And one of the things, my hat's off again, if I repeat myself, forgive me. All right. Again, my dedication here today is to the men and women that serve who decided to join the armed forces and did not, okay, under any other conditions, do what they were told. You know, so the bottom line is when you join and they tell you you have to go A, B, C, or D, you're obligated to go. All right. So we don't get into the political ramifications of why we do. I mean, you can sit there and say, well, I disagree with that, but you joined the military and now that is that's your calling. That's what you have to do. I didn't coin the phrase, but it's one that sticks out of my mind. It's a good old movie that I've watched many, many, many times. Okay, it's a classic. I think they're actually even bringing it back. Top Gun, and one of the superior officers was trying to explain to the subordinates there that you're being part of the military. We don't make policy. We are the instruments of that policy, and what we are assigned to do is to carry out those orders. So the whole conflict about going and where and why and who, and we don't get into that. So with that being said, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that I met over the years and I probably will never, ever see again. And if they ever get a hands on this podcast or they hear it, my hat's off to you. Enjoy your day. Be well. I hope all is well with you and your family. and your friends, whatever you are, and whatever station you're in life. I do know for a fact that during these conflicts, going way back, I'll give you a short story. When I was in the Middle East and I came home, my family was so excited. They actually wanted to take me out for a drink. They wanted to take me out to dinner. And I remember going to this one place, and there was a gentleman and a couple people were making a little hoopla about it. And I got to admit, I mean, I was glad to be home. I came home safe and sound. And a gentleman kind of pulled me off to the side, and he wasn't angry. I mean, we didn't get into any confrontation. But when he was talking about Desert Storm, and then he was talking about Vietnam, and he says, you weren't in a war. And I says, well, listen, my brother, thanks for serving. I give him all the kudos, but it's two different situations. I'm not going to get into a pissing match about whose war was better than the other. At the end of the day, there were lives lost, and lives were changed during these conflicts. I mean, whatever the number was during Vietnam, which I was too young, I missed it. And I do know for a fact that in Operation Desert Storm, there had to be over 400 casualties. So, I mean, we're not into a pissing match. A glass is a glass. Some of them are blue, some of them are red, some are green, but they're all glasses. So the bottom line is the conflict is the conflict. So I was a little taken back by that. And but we, at the end of the day, we shook hands, and saluted each other and moved on. So basically that's it. So what I want to do is here's it. Today is Veterans Day, and there's really not much. There's really not much I can say. Is that if you get a chance today, I mean, if you're gonna watch the, some people. Now I'm a loss for words here, and I don't want to go off on a tangent. But there are some people that really don't fully understand what it means to serve in the United States military. A lot of people don't agree with it. Some people you don't think you should. And I'm confused in that statement simply because of the fact that you're living in this country under a democracy and the protection that's afforded to you from the military services. Okay, I don't care what your views are, what you believe, don't believe, or whatever. But in terms of living in this country, okay, you're living under the protection of the United States military services. When you lay your head down every single night and you go to sleep comfortably under the umbrella of the protection that these men and women are doing afar and abroad. The funny thing is, I really mean this. I sit down sometimes, I watch TV with my family and my kids, and then, we all go to bed and we tuck in, good night, see you in the morning. There is a man or a woman somewhere around this world in a foxhole somewhere away from their family and friends, protecting the interests of the United States of America. And at that point in time, you should give thanks. So don't sit here, I'm not angry, please. It sounds like I'm angry or being aggressive. What I am saying to you is the best thing that you can do today. There's two things. And here's my challenge, two things. If you see somebody and you recognize that they're a veteran and they've served this country, you can tell them, thank you for your service. And if it's even more, you can shake their hand, man or woman. And number two, if you have some personal views about the military and you don't agree with them, then don't say anything. Just keep your mouth shut. Now, I know that's a little aggressive, and I do apologize. LBJ doesn't come off like that, but I hold it near and dear to my heart because I had some very, very dear and sincere friends across the whole country, east and west, that I served with for a year. And I miss them. Probably never see them again. You try to do the whole Facebook, social media thing. I'm really not that savvy in trying to hunt people down. But my hat's off to them. Okay, and I'm putting it out into the universe. God bless you and your family, and thank you for your service, and thank you for the time that we served together. And this conversation also goes for the men and women that are serving today. And that's it. I know I don't want to get all sentimental about it. But anyway, so that's where I am. All right. And to all you men and women who served, God bless you. Be well and take care of yourself. And that's it. It's short and sweet today. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance and you have the opportunity today, I challenge you, just like I told you before, an act of kindness. It all ties together. Is anybody paying attention? It all ties in together. The act of kindness, the act of saying thank you, it is all intertwined. I'm going to make it my business today that I see a veteran, I'm going to shake their hand and I'm going to say thank you for your service. Even though I'm a veteran myself, a combat veteran myself. Because some of the older guys, some of the older veterans that are still alive and here today, they did the same thing that I did. But they did it for me when I was a young kid and I couldn't do it. So it's kind of like paying it forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry if this didn't make much sense to you. I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but I sincerely have deep gratitude and appreciation, love, and respect for the veterans of this country. And even though they'll never, ever get rich, they deserve and they should get all the accolades and the respect and the courtesy of being military veterans and serving this great country in which we live. So don't get scared. Don't. LBJ is not getting all riled up. I just, when you care about something, the passion kind of just creeps out without realizing it. So if there's anybody in your family that's a veteran, just and in their family, give them a hug today. Seriously, give them a hug today and say thank you because they did something for you that is priceless. And that's, protect and serve this country, this great country that we live in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, that's probably it for today. Happy Veterans Day to all. And as I always say, please take care of yourself. Take care of your families because family is important. And if you see someone that needs a helping hand, try it out. Stick your hand out and help them if you can. I believe this one act really, really will make the world a better place. I believe that. And it's also going to be one of those things that help you on your journey to becoming the best person that you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm LBJ. You're there and I'm here. And you've been listening to The Heartfelt Truth. We'll talk again. Happy Veterans Day.